guys, welcome back to the Tukes and Tires YouTube channel. I'm Zach, and this week we're fixing tailgates because you can see I got a whole bunch of them around here.
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada, eh?
Well, so I've bought some tailgates. So this is the original tailgate that was on the Blazer. So you can see she's a little crusty on the outer skin, so that's no good. But the inside skin on that one is good. And then I bought this other tailgate, and the outside is good, but the inside is bad. So we're gonna be fixing on this few little corners on this. Some spots I gotta, I think, chop out there. So I'm gonna get the glass out of this one. And if you can see this other tailgate, that you'd say, well, that's for a pickup truck. Well, I got a fancy little custom thing we're gonna throw on this, but if you haven't guessed already, this is what it's gonna be. So these obviously have the aluminum piece on it, and I don't want to run that, but I still want it to say Chevrolet. So I bought this stamp tailgate, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out this section, and we're going to weld it in on this tailgate. But we're gonna fix up this stuff first, and then we'll get to chopping and customizing. So here we go. I guess a little time lapse of me trying to take this glass out of here. So we got the glass out, and now I'm just taking this mechanism out, so it's just one more thing that's out of the way. There's just these 4 7/16 bolts in there. We're just taking the last one out. I think there's 4, so let's see if it comes out. Oh, I got the long socket. I should have got a short socket. Oh, we made her work. Oh, look at that. Also, note to everybody that's doing this, as soon as you take the 3 bolts out of this thing and you drop this gear drive thing, this thing snaps back. Friggin' Dad over here got his fingers caught up in there. But I think he's gonna live. But I think pull the cable out too. Also, if anybody knows like part numbers for all this rubber and maybe a new cable, that'd be pretty helpful. Thank you. So just for fun, before we start tearing into it, we're gonna see if we can pop this thing off. There's no bolts in it from the backside, so I think somebody siliconed it on. So, I don't know. It's on there. Oh, it's got like 2-sided tape on there. There's like no saving this thing.
Can you pry that up?
I got it up here. Look how many layers of that double-sided tape there is. This that's a lot of layers. I guess it was on sale. You see that?
Up towards your friend.
Yeah. Somebody tell me if that's factory. Look, we got a wall hanger.
So.
Yeah, I was figuring if I even
it here.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured I would even it out in between here. Look, that's almost the color I want to paint it. Well, we got both of them at basically the same stages. We got both glasses out. That one I left the mechanism in because that one doesn't really matter. So I've kind of made up a game plan here on this one. So you can see like it's pretty well gone there. And then there's a little patch here. So I drew up some lines over here of my cut pattern. You can see I'm going to come around because the lip is gone on that one. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut further on the outside skin on this one, and then here, then hopefully I'll be able to join kind of both. I'm going to cut like, I don't know, I think I'm going to cut this one off underneath here to get it sliced off from there, and then here I'm going to make a cut. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can see I got a line here where I'm going to cut this off. I'm not going to use most of that, but I just want to take off more than what I need. So I'm going to get that side cut, and then basically the other side is the same deal, not as much. It's only, it comes up a little further over here. I know it's hard to see, but it's not as bad like up into like to this section, because I think this here I should be able to just kind of wire wheel and put some rust mort on it and get it kind of fixed up. And little stuff like this up here I'm not too worried about. And then there's a little spot up top there that I gotta bash down, and it's just split and I gotta weld it back together. But I'm gonna get that stuff cut out of there, and then I'll make up pieces to fit into this one, and then we'll move on to chopping out those letters over there. Hopefully I don't screw that up, but we're gonna find out. So we'll put you on a time lapse of cutting and more welding. And you know, I'm also really sorry that my whole channel so far has been rust repair, but I live in Canada and I'm cheap and I don't want to buy new things. So sorry about that one, guys, but we're trying to get through to it. We're going to get to some cool stuff like engine swap and this thing soon after we paint it, but we're getting there. Just bear with me, guys. Okay, well, we got our pieces cut out, and I took away the other tailgate because it was basically junk anyways. But if I need anything else off of it, I'll bring her back in and cut it out. But I mean, I got majority of this, so I'm going to, and it's kind of neat to see how they got this big steel on the inside, so at least I know that I don't cut into that when I start repairing this one. So I'll cut this out for my patches. I think I'm only going to try to do like small areas, but I cut off more than I needed. And then this side wasn't as bad. It's only just a little piece, so I'll fix that. And I had to cut it off at the outside skin because over on both sides there's like a hole you can see right through. So I'm just gonna probably cut out like, I don't know, somewhere maybe like an inch or something past, and I'll just like tack it, weld it on the outside and grind it and stuff. But I'll get these pieces fit up, and we'll come back to when I'm welding them in. Well, I figured I'd show you guys this little trick that I do. So obviously I got this stuff made up, and now I'm working on this, cutting out this corner piece, right? So I have this piece, and I feel like I'm gonna just weld the whole thing. I'm gonna chop the outside, but I need some way to transfer my cut line onto here. So what I do is I just took some like 2-inch tape, and I laid it out onto my piece, and then I took a razor and I cut my edge here and around this little round piece, whatever, and then I marked where the curve is. So obviously you can see the curve is still here. So now I will peel this off, and I'll have a perfect template of where I need to cut, and I will place it onto here. So I'm going to cut that out, and then you'll see me guys, you'll see me weld this in. So I'll get this done up, and then yeah, I don't know if I'm going to show the other side because it's the exact same thing. right, well, we got those patches all welded in. They're looking pretty good. A little skim of Bondo, some primer. It should look pretty good. So, I mean, I can't complain. It didn't cost me anything other than time. So now we can get to figuring out how we're going to put our letters on here. But first we got to try to get this old double-sided tape off of here. But I think it should be like magic, and it'll just come off just like, and it's clean. More like it's like stripped. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Found a little hole in there while my magic skills took the double-sided tape off. But we'll get that tailgate over here on the table, and we'll start marking up some lines where we need to cut the letters out. Okay, well, we got her on the table over here. So I think what my plan is there's obviously a body line in here. So I think I'm gonna cut along that edge, and it's to the letters, it is 3/4 of an inch. So I think I'm gonna mark a 3/4 inch line over here, just kind of keeping it the same. And then here, there's a body line here, but what I'm gonna do is mark a 3/4. I'm gonna cut it out, and then hopefully with a dolly, I'll be able to just flatten this little bend out of it, just to give me a little bit more meat. I mean, I probably could do it that close, but I mean, I'd like a little extra. So I think that's what the plan is. So we'll just find out where the body line is and kind of mark within. What's that? Alright, well, I think that's pretty close. And there's not as the same gap at the bottom as there is on the top. So obviously I left it out of the round. This one might be a little closer, but I think we'll be alright. So, and I made it just 3/4 on each side. So we're gonna find out. So here we go. Okay, well, we got that cut out, and man, it's looking super sweet. I'm really excited. Like, I mean, just that little custom touch is just awesome. I didn't really want to run one of those aluminum pieces. I know people do, but I think this is going to look really sweet. So I just kind of got it laid out where I want it. So what I did is I took a right angle square, one of these big ones, and I just kind of lined it up in this lower body line, something like yay, and then I went to the edge right to this point here, and then I just kind of took a center measurement to the edge of each letter, and I think it turned out to be like 4.5, so that's how I'm gonna place it. I think that looks about right. And then what I'm gonna do now is I wax and grease remove this, and I'm gonna lay some tape on it, so then I can lay this back on, do some pencil marks once I get it all squared up, and then I'll cut out the shape with the grinder, and then we should be able to inlay this flat in and weld it in. And I was also able to pound out this little recess out of this, or this bend, or whatever you want to call it. There's still a little something in there, but I think it should be fine. Even afterwards, I could probably get in behind there and dolly and hammer it out, but we'll get to laying down some lines, and you'll probably come back to me cutting this out, and then we'll see how we can get it tacked in there and how sweet it's gonna look. I'm really excited. It looks awesome. Okay, so we got her all cut out and ground up, ready to weld in. So now I'm just going to obviously tack this in slowly using this magnet to pull it up, and obviously you can see it's down some spots, up in others, so we'll get it so it's nice and flush. And then I'm going to, while I'm doing that, I don't want to put too much heat to the panel, so I'm going to use some compressed air. When I go to tack, I can cool it down so that I don't warp this panel all to smithereens. So we'll start tacking this in slowly, and then we'll continue on. It's gonna look pretty sweet. Pretty excited. Okay guys, well we got her fully welded up and it's looking pretty good. I just got a little bit of grinding left to do, but I'll finish that later. I did start grinding that, but I stuck my finger into the grinder and I had to go to the hospital and get checked out, but I'll finish that up later. Put some pictures of it probably on Instagram once I get it all primed up, but it's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with it. A little bit of Bondo should skim up the rest. And I just got these few holes to fix over here, but I'll get that off camera. But I think that's going to do it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, don't forget to salute the beaver. See you next time. You know, whoever you were who put this on here, I don't like you. You're the worst. But I feel like I should say sorry, because I'm Canadian. It's my duty.